You probably heard that before. I'm not here to tell you to do drugs. You know, I never did a drug in my life. I've never been stoned, drunk, or high. I never put a lampshade on my head, tried to turn myself on and off. I've never done a drug before. You guys are like, you're lying. No, I'm serious. I saw the way you walked up on stage. You're lying. I'm not lying. I'm serious. I never done a drug, you know. But the thing is I learned about drugs from my brother. I'm not here to tell you that not to do drugs. You're going to do drugs. You're going to have sex. You're going to do what you want to do. But like I said, I'm here to offer you a choice. And that choice is up to you. It's going to make or break you the rest of your life. I have a little bit more experience than you. Not much. I'm not saying I know everything. I don't tell people what to do. I just give you a choice. And I learned about drugs from my brother. You see, my brother, he's 27 years old, 3 years older than me. And when he was 14 years old, he started smoking weed, started smoking marijuana. And I went home one day and, dude, I looked underneath his bed and I found a little velvet purple package. And inside that velvet purple package was whiskey and it was half drink. My brother at 14 years old became a full-blown alcoholic, smoking weed every single day before and after school and sometimes during in the bathroom. You say, what? Why'd he do that? Because he had something inside that we both grew up with that I'll tell you about later, that he was trying to kill the pain. You know why people do drugs? Most of the time, people do drugs, they try to kill the pain. They want to escape from reality. They don't like the life that they're living. And for a brief second, my brother, he would smoke the weed, and for a brief second, his pain was gone. But when he came down off that high, it was right back 10 times worse than it started. My brother was 16, 17, 18 years old. He got into a drug called crank. Crank messed him up. He thought he could handle it. My brother was 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old. Up until last year, he started doing a drug called cocaine. My brother was a senior in college, at a reputable college. He had a major in business, a minor in music. He was talented. Dude, my brother's smart. I'm not smart I wish I was smart like he was. I'm like 4 plus 4 is 24. Dude, my brother's smart. But he blew it all away up his nose because of a little white powder. And he never wanted to think anybody did it. And I came home after college one Christmas and I said, hey, bro, how you doing, man? What's wrong? And I walked by his room and he was crying. He was just weeping. I never seen him weep like this before. You know how you sometimes see people with a tear running down their eyes, something like some of you are doing right now? Don't laugh. You have no idea what the person sitting next to you has gone through this morning before they came to school or what they're going to go home to. You know why? Because I'll tell you about it a little bit later. Everybody wears a mask with a smile on it. Everybody's got to act like everything's okay. And that's what my brother did. He didn't think any of us knew. And I walked by his room and he's crying. He's weeping. I'm like, bro, what's wrong? What's wrong? What can I do? He's like, I need help. I need help. I said, we'll get you help. I said, what do you need help from? I wanted him to tell me. What do you need help from? And he never would tell me. And I sat there and just held him as he cried. And he was cold sweats. He was trying to get off the drugs, but he knew he couldn't. He knew they had him. A couple months ago, he called my mom. My mom called me. And my mom said, dude, you'll never believe what happened. Your brother, he came home and told me that he was doing drugs. And we knew that, but it's the first time he ever confessed. He said, I need help. So they're getting him help. They're putting him in a rehab place and getting him some help. But my mom said, she told me something I never would forget. She told me, she said, man, you won't believe what I asked him. I said, why'd you even get into that? Why'd you start doing it? And he said something to me that I never will forget. My mom told me what he said. She said, Ryan, why do you do the drugs? Why do you do that? And he said, Mom, I thought I could handle it. I thought I could handle it. My brother's strong, dude. He's strong. He thought he could handle it. There's some of you sitting out there in that audience right now. You're telling yourself, oh, I'm just doing weed. It's no big deal. I did it once. I did it twice. Now you're full-blown into it. You're doing stuff you shouldn't do. My brother's 27 years old. He dropped out of college because of a little white powder. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have nothing. He cries at night because he wish he didn't look at it and say, I thought I could handle it. There's a quote I want to tell you about. The quote. It's by a book. It's in a book. It's called Leadership and Self-Deception. My mother-in-law bought it for me when I got married to her daughter. I was like, why did you buy this for me? But she bought it for me, Leadership and Self-Deception. I opened up the book, and inside was a quote. It's a quote. I have to read things several times in order to understand it, you know. And I read this quote, and it was by a guy named Black Elk. And if you want to sit there and say, hey, man, I'm going to do drugs, that's cool. But check this out. If you want a number one reason why not to do drugs is because one of these days you're going to grow up, if you do drugs, and name your kid something like Black Elk. That's messed up. That's bad. Their parents should be shot. I think we should name him Black Elk. That's horrible. But there's a quote in this book. It said this. It says, it's in the darkness of their eyes that men get lost. And I read it again. It's in the darkness of their eyes that men get lost. Men and women, man and child. It's in the darkness of their eyes that men get lost. And I read it again. It's in the darkness of your eyes that you get lost. It's in the darkness of my brother's eyes that he started smoking weed, and he said, I think I can handle it. I think I can handle it. It's in the darkness of his eyes that he started doing crank because he said, I could handle the weed. I think I can handle it. It's in the darkness of his eyes that he started drinking. And he said, I think I can handle it. It's in the darkness of his eyes that now he's lost forever in the darkness, saying, what can I do to get out? And the further you get into the darkness, it's harder to see the light. You know, you ever been in the dark before and you have like someone lights a match and you see that match, but eventually you get far enough away, or someone has a flashlight and they have that flashlight, and eventually you get far enough away, you can't see that light anymore because it becomes so dim. And my brother walked away from the light so much, dude, darkness consumed his life. It's in the darkness of your eyes that you get lost. And when it's dark, man, it's dark. I hope to God that none of you sit in this room and say, I think I can handle it. I'm not telling you don't do drugs. If you want to do drugs, you do drugs. If you want to have sex, you do have sex all you want. But don't be 27 years old, living your life, and there's no life to live because you made a choice. You got a choice. Everybody say, I have a choice. Say, I have a choice.